So in this segment, we're going to be discussing the Tories are getting called out for breaking their manifesto pledge of getting 6,000 new GPs between 2019 and 2024, which I don't think would have been even possible anyways. Sorry, 6,000 new GPs, which I don't think would have been possible anyways. It takes like 7 years or something to train to become a GP. So that promise don't even make sense, unless they're going to bend the rules of time or something. But yeah, Sunak gets called out for it. Let's have a listen.
What GPs tell us is that you really need more GPs. You're not going to be able to fulfil that commitment to have 66,000 more by 2024, are you?
So we do want to have more GPs as well. So today there are...
But on that specific commitment, you're not going to make it, are
So
you?
where we are today is that there are 2,000 more doctors in general practice than there were in 2019.
That's great, but we're going to look at debunking the numbers in a bit here. What he says is actually true, which is very surprising for as far as Tory MPs go. But it's not your promise of 6,000, is it? It's very different.
So that's a step forward.
On that specific commitment of 6,000 more GPs by 2024, you're not going to do it, are you?
Well, look, what we are going to do is bring forward a long-term workforce plan relatively soon, and you'll see all the numbers in there.
And will it include 6,000 more GPs by 2024?
What you will see is in order to get more GPs, you've got to put them in training first. So that's why already we've invested in training. There are record numbers of...
This is more moronic statements because they've actually capped the amount of GPs that can be trained in the UK. They've capped the UK places. I remember covering that a while ago. So this point here he makes is absolute nonsense. Those places have gone to, I think, foreign medical students who want to train and get their qualifications in the UK. So the argument that they're going to train more, that's not going to happen unless all of those foreign students stay here, which they might not do. They might have their places funded by their governments or whatever arrangement they have, or they might not want to stick around here long term. Don't blame them. But, if they wanted to train more GPs, they should have opened up more training places, which they didn't do. And they had the opportunity to do it because we covered it at the time.
GPs in training as we speak, but I want to go further, and what this workforce plan will show is a significant increase in the number of GP training places that we create, so that over time, because it takes time to train GPs, you can't do it overnight, as we all know, we are going to be investing in creating many more GP training places and increasing the number of GPs that we've got working.
But you have...
So he's moved the goalpost there. He's basically admitted they haven't reached their 6,000 figure. He said, but we've got 2,000 though, which is better than before. Okay, but you said 6. So he's moving the goalpost, and classic bit of, don't worry though, you haven't got what you wanted today, but tomorrow, you elect us again, and, you should get what you want, which is not going to happen.
Haven't been able to say you'll hit that target. Sounds like you won't.
I'd say, look, we're not there yet, but what I would say is we've got 2,000 more doctors in general practice already. Crucially, we've got 25,000 more other people working in primary care, like physiotherapists, like specialist nurses.
But they're not GPs, bro. Like, specialist nurses and physiotherapists are not GPs. So they're not the same. It's not the same.
Diabetes or respiratory conditions like asthma, all of those people are providing fantastic healthcare. And what we want is GPs to focus on the things that only GPs can do. And it's important that we invest in all these other fantastic primary care roles.
So what he's talking about is garbage. So, there's another, sorry to go from dark to light mode, but pledge to reduce NHS backlog has been broken, Steve Barclay admits. And this was a promise by, not in their manifesto, but in Sunak's pledges. So a government pledge to reduce the size of the NHS's record-breaking care backlog has been broken, the Health Secretary has admitted. Barclay slipped out the news in a common statement on Tuesday about a totally unrelated area of NHS policy, his new plan to improve access to GP care. So classic, you just get rid of bad news when you can and hope it slips under the radar. He disclosed to MPs that the NHS in England has missed its target to ensure that all patients that have been waiting 18 months for an operation in hospital would be treated by April. It is thought that about 10,000 people who've been waiting for 78 weeks, so over a year, are still languishing on the 7.2 million strong waiting list. And so this was one of his pledges, I think. So we'll discuss that there. So he said halving inflation, which probably not going to happen. Growing the economy, probably not going to happen. Debt falling, probably not going to happen. Cutting waiting lists, probably not going to happen. Small boats, passing new laws to stop small boats. It's the only one he's got through. And I don't know what other details he had around that, but he's not going to stop the small boats crossing. But he has passed that law, which Labour could have stopped. The Labour Lords could have stopped. So if we look at the the BMA actually put out an article about this. So the number of GPs role, full-time GPs, so all GPs including trainees. So what they said, as of March 2023, there are 36,525 individual headcount fully qualified GPs working in the NHS England in full-time equivalent terms of 37.5 hours. This equates to 27,306 full-time qualified GPs. The overall number of GPs has seen little growth since 2015, with the number of GP partners significantly declining. So they're the ones who run them. So, the government has failed to deliver on promised recruitment. In February 2020, in a bid to reverse the status of GP workforce numbers, the government announced a drive to recruit an additional 6,000 GPs by 2024. So it's actually worse. In February, they made the announcement. It looked like a manifesto pledge. I think it was as well. But 2020, they said they're going to train 6,000 more GPs within the space of 4 years. It's impossible to do that because it takes around 7 years to become a GP. So, like I said, unless they're going to bend the rules of time or change what the change the certification for what a GP is, you're a GP. He's a GP. Everyone's a GP. I don't know what they're playing at here. I'll be honest. So he's broken a pledge. He's broken a manifesto pledge. There it is, the 6,000. So I don't know what more to say. What more to say? He's already what's it? He's already 0-5. He's broken one already. It's only May. He's struggling, dog. He's struggling to get with these pledges, and he made these himself. These weren't Johnson manifesto promises. That one there about the waiting list, that was his own one, and the guy put that in as himself. So Labour need to run with this one. Dude can't get his own pledges through. Honestly, it's embarrassing. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.